Hello, friends. Today I brought you here to the entrance of the deep, deep forest. I was going to go farther in, but we're getting so many mosquitoes that I would be eaten alive because of the damp weather and the rain. Next time I will take you into the forest. Be prepared. I love the shapes. Look at that. This one here. They say a picture's worth a thousand words, but that's actually taken from the saying, an etching is worth a thousand words. And when you look at a photograph or a video, you could make that etching. For me, all these lines and here, it's magnificent. It's interesting how we can look at a still photograph that doesn't move, obviously. Yet when I stream things that aren't moving around so much, some of my friends say, "Oh, I'm restless. I want to see something happen. I want to hear some music." And I'm like, there ain't going to be any music, and nothing is going to happen in my live streams. I bring you the real thing, the here and now, the present. Whoever's watching right now, this is it. This is life happening right this moment. I'm sure if we could zip into these trees and leaves and everything else that we see in front of us, it would be like a mega movie going on, like all these things, ants moving around, bugs doing their thing, things growing, just a mecca of things happening. But from here, as a photographer, we admire it by saying, "Oh, let me take a picture of this." If we could somehow do one of these things right into nature, it would be like the best movie ever. On our end here, It's like, oh, peace, tranquility, beauty in nature. And inside there, it's probably everything. Everything's happening. Things eating each other, uh, things running away from uh, little monsters, microbes growing, mushrooms springing. It's just like total craziness. On our side of the camera, there's birds singing their lovely song. The colors, the tranquility, the peacefulness. It's like everything we need to set up a meditation, to take a deep breath and say, oh, how wonderful it is. Yet in there, it's like everything. Click. Oh, what a beautiful photograph of nature. Yeah, it's beautiful. Everyone feeling good today? Hey, I want to thank the people that are watching my streams. We got India here. India, hello. I'd love to go to India. That's one place I haven't been. Well, there's a few places I haven't been, but I've been all over the world. Hello, USA, Serbia, Bosnia, Herzegovina. Hello, Bosnia. There's a lot of nature in Bosnia. Holy cow. It's beautiful there. If you ever get a chance, I did a lot of work in Sarajevo before the war. Hello, my friends in Germany. Hey, we got people from Germany. Oh, look at that. The Ukraine. Oh, my friends in Ukraine. My mother spoke Ukrainian. When I arrived in Canada, I was about a couple of years old. First went to live in Switzerland and then moved to Toronto. And my mom was a waitress in a restaurant called Victoria Grill at Queen Street and what was that? Queen Street. I forgot the name. Anyway, it was on Queen Street East. and it was a restaurant with single seats. I remember her taking me there, where they kind of, there's like a diner setup, and everybody there was from the Ukraine, and they were rough looking. And the waitresses, which included my mom, they were all Ukrainian, so she learned Ukrainian. She taught me a little bit of Ukrainian. I remember as a kid sitting there, and every so often fights would break out because people had stuff on their in their background that they had to see it out. And all of a sudden, as a kid, I would watch these fights break out, bang, boom, like it was exciting. The owner of the restaurant was Pani, which means Mr. Namchuk. Pani Namchuk. She used to take me to the restaurant. She didn't want to leave me home alone. So I would bring my homework and sit in the restaurant and observe. I observe things that kids don't usually observe. They go home, they watch cartoons. But I was there at the Victoria Grill. I remember as a kid looking at all those faces, and they had burly coats on, and you know, they would be eating their borscht, which is like a hot cabbage soup. And they all had rough beards. They worked hard. From what I understand now, they did day labor. So they would come to the Victoria Grill to have a hot meal, see some friends, and every once in a while, like I said, they would have it out. Man, fists flew, but it was always quick, and they were always taken out in the streets. One of the guys who used to wash the dishes, his name was Mishko. I think he was a little crazy because he would constantly talk to himself, and he was quite funny. He had no teeth, and he would mimic things and do little dances and always be talking to himself. And I would come up to him and say, "Hello, Mr. Mishko." And he'd be like, he's talking Ukrainian. He'd just go into like a whole conversation. I don't know what he was talking about. But it was characters like him that built, made what was inside me as a photographer. I just learned, I learned to see, to look, to to observe and go, look at that face. Or watch him. Look, observe him, see what he's doing. There, the whole thing was a photography lesson or video. There wasn't any video back then, but moving stills, I call them. It was rough, but I had a wonderful childhood. And now it makes me sad, the situation that the Ukraine and Russia are in. I don't know who the good guy is, who the bad guy is. I've covered some unrest in my career. This stuff goes deep. It's simplified for the media. So people at home sitting on their couch can understand or think they can understand what's going on. But those things are so deep. There's no heads or tails to it. My prayers go out to both sides. These forests here, this forest here, these forests and this particular forest here, this is the bottom part where people that lived here a long time ago, the Serbs, they would live way up here in the mountains because down here where I am was, what do you call it? It was a path where the Turkish soldiers would make their way from Turkey to Upper Europe. It was also the path for the Romans and many more. Uh, every time a farmer plows a field here, they find all sorts of coins and things and artifacts inside their fields. In order to survive, in order for them to survive, they had to live way up there. While I was doing my photography in New York City, I worked for a couple of companies, Reuters, CNN. My favorite was um, Life magazine. I was actually there officially the last photographer for the Life brand. And what I did was I did street photography, shot all these crazy things on the streets of New York. But that kind of photography, it was like right in your face. You know, you either saw it or you didn't, or you got it or you missed it. Crazy city. Here, it's like everything's everything is happening, but it's not in your face. Here's something happening. Can you see that? It's the pupster. I throw the ball for her, but she doesn't bring it back. I'm going through all these tennis balls that are laying all over the field. She just doesn't come back. But wood, she's crazy about it. I throw it, she chews it, she enjoys it. I swore I'd never get another dog after my little pug passed away. But there I was, throwing out something in a garbage container, and I found her in the container, half dead, full of fleas. So I took her home. Said, "Oh well, I'll just get her. I'll get her adopted." And as it happened, she adopted me. Your pets are excellent subjects to photograph. They're just loads of fun and excellent practice tool because you got to be fast. You got to know when to shoot the shot or when to just keep rolling the video. How to keep it in focus. That's the tough one. Mind you, they have the camera I use, it's got this thing where it follows the animal's eye or the person's eye. And I'm stunned at how good it is. I come from a time in photography where we had to manual focus everything. And when you got it, you really got it. Not that I'm complaining, but cameras are so sophisticated now that it'll follow the it'll follow the animal's eye. And at the same time, if you're shooting, let's say stills, you could shoot like 35, 40 frames a second. That's like shooting video, actually. I tried something today where I shoot 25 frames a second when I shoot video, not 24, 25, because I'm here in Europe. And while I was in DaVinci Resolve, which is the editing software for, it's pretty much high end editing software, I pulled one of the images of these, my, my cat's kittens. They're just kind of laying there and they started falling asleep. And I, I was just rolling. I was rolling on my Sony Cinema camera. It's a FX30. And I stopped the moment where it's like, wow, that's it. That's the picture inside the video. It was sharp. I I grabbed the frame. So I said, make it a photo. And wow, I was stunned how good it was. I thought that that's the picture. Picture is there in the video. Now the cameras are so good now that they're high quality. Before, you could the camera would roll, the video would roll, but you can grab a frame from it, a still picture, but the quality was not good. But now it's stunning. So I grabbed the frame, the photograph in the video, and I took it over to Lightroom. I fixed it here and there in Lightroom, the colors and stuff, and then I brought it into Photoshop as a TIFF. So you got JPEG, you got a higher quality called TIFF. I prefer to work in TIFF to fix things, and then I output it in JPEG. And I just sat there thinking, oh my God, could photography be over? I mean, if I just keep the camera rolling and I know where to put myself, I can grab the perfect picture, the perfect photograph from the video. That's crazy. What What amazing times we live in, technically. But you still have to put yourself in the situation, and you still have to have the eye and know, okay, is something going to happen here? Will this look good? Uh, that's all up to you. And you don't need to shoot video to grab a still photograph. You can use photography. Why not? But the thing is, you can. Something to think about. Maybe a wild boar or something will come flying in here. Puppy? Oh, puppy. She loves the forest. She's a lucky dog. Gets to go to the forest every day, run around. I worry a little bit for her though, because as beautiful as it is, there are animals in there that will eat her. Wolves, wild boar. Oh yeah, and poisonous snakes. Now the snakes are very poisonous because it's spring. And they told me at the local hospital, they said, look, if you get bit by a snake now, um, call us so we can meet you halfway because you won't make it. I'm like, great. So I have big rubber boots up to my knees. Uh, a friend of mine told me, make sure you get a hat too, like a, what do you call those bicycle helmets? I'm like, why? They said, well, because they also hang from the trees. I'm like, oh, great. Halfway in the summer, their venom slows down and we're good. Hey, pup, come. There she is. Good girl. Good dog. Good dog. So let's call it a day. Thank you very much for coming by and sharing this moment here with me. And I'm very happy to bring it to you. And I want to thank all the people that come and watch the replays. Replays are doing well. So what I'll do is, as soon as I shut this live stream down, I got my camera. I got a gimbal here, a Manfrotto gimbal, and I'll go do some work. So wishing you a great day wherever you are, and we'll see you tomorrow.